Hello, Capricorn. It is time for your month ahead reading for September. We're going to start off as usual with an oracle card and see what the primary theme or the primary energy that you're going to be working with here in September. And you have into me, I see gaining insights into a situation. And seeing it in a way you haven't seen it before. You may get there may be some random piece of information or some word or somebody says something offhand that's going to trigger a memory or some sort of additional insight into something that's kind of maybe been at the back of your mind for a while. It may be the missing piece of the puzzle. And you know what? What literally came to me is you may literally find that missing piece to the puzzle too, by the way. Might be like under the leg of the coffee table. Let me know if any that happens for any of you because I'm going to want to know that. Now, let's get into the details of this, into your tarot cards. We're working with the Transparency Tarot this month, or Transparent Tarot, per the insistence of my guides. So I was a little resistant, but so far so good. But it's been interesting so far. So we're going to start off with, let me move this out over a little bit, the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Cups, the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. So, no, Queen of Wands. Okay. I say another sword. Yeah, it feels like you may have been holding on to something, maybe the memory of something or some anger at something in the past, and you get something comes up which flips the script. And it also gives you into some insight into what maybe why you reacted the way you did in at the time. And this was just because it was a missing piece of information and not something you at the time would have ever occurred to you to ask about or to look into. And maybe even the other people involved, it wasn't something that would have occurred to them either. There was like a third or fourth person involved somehow that was withholding that information from all of you. But no one knew this until now. And it just flips the script on the whole situation. Fascinating. Okay, let's get into the cards here. We're starting off here with the Knight of Swords. This feels like that person. This feels like the gossip. So swords are about communication. They are about our thoughts, our belief, education, information. This is the source of the gossip of what happened in the past. So somebody may be bringing this information to you, and this is how you find out about it. It's a recent discovery because they had been withholding it, and they never said anything. Somebody just happened to discover it. Maybe they were having a discussion about the incident with this person that happened in the past. They may be one of the only people that were still connected to them in any way. And they slipped up and they said something, and now the word's getting out. But so knights to me are somebody, they have the information, but they're still gaining experience. So there may still be a piece, you may not, okay, how do I want to put these words? I'm trying not to talk too fast and stumble over everything. The information's flowing. So they don't have all of the information yet. They just have pieces of it. So there's still more insights to come. There's still more information to be uncovered to fully understand what was actually going on at the time. But somebody's going to bring you some information, some fresh facts coming up to the forefront that are going to change things. And it's going to, again, as soon as you understand what's going on, there's going to be like, no, they did not kind of feeling. And maybe you have even still been in touch with the root cause of the situation that happened that everybody is now starting to understand. Because then we have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is you're over it. You are done with the drama. You are emotionally disconnecting from this person, this situation, for your own sanity, for your own well-being. You're walking away from it. You don't even want to know. You don't want to be fully informed. You understand. We know for a fact now that something's happened as a result of this third party. And that at this point is all you need to know is, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I don't need to know more. I know enough now to know what I need to do going forward, but I don't need to deal with that anymore. I don't need to be involved in additional gossip for that, for my own peace of mind. I know what I need to do going forward, and I will take responsible for what I did and my emotions and my response to it, because that's all I can control here. However, we have the Three of Swords here, and this is a card that kind of indicates heartbreak and disappointment and anger, high emotions as a result of this information coming forward, of finding out about the lies, of discovering this deception. So there, you're still going to have to process those emotions. You're still going to have to go through that, but it's going to be quicker than you expect it to be. Maybe at the very beginning here, you're like feeling this is not something that can be recovered from. This is something I'm going to be angry about forever. Let yourself feel the anger. Let yourself feel the grief, because that's all part of this disconnecting, right? We have to process that within our bodies and release those emotions from our physical bodies, from our energetic field, so that we're not continuing to carry it with us, because we don't want that. If you want to fully disconnect, you have to process through, you have to let that out in a healthy way for you. But let yourself experience it, let yourself process it. And then it feels like it's only going to take a few days, maybe a week for you. For others, it could be longer than that. Sometimes it can take a lot longer, but it feels like the vast majority, it's almost like a relief that that is no longer like holding over you. It's always been in the back of your mind, because maybe something's always felt a little bit off about it, but since nobody ever knew exactly what was going on, or how this happened, how things bubbled up or occurred the way they did, and now you do, there's this feeling of release and relief. And now that you have a full understanding, you're able to let it go, and you're not carrying that with you anymore. And then we have the Four of Swords. This is where you're just, it's time for a break. It's time to take a nap. Maybe you need to take a nap or two throughout the week following this, the emotional release of this, just to recover and reset yourself. But you don't need to think about that event anymore. It doesn't need to be at the front of your mind. Maybe it's no longer at the back of your mind either. You're feeling truly free of it, and just resting and maybe focusing on other things, focusing on things that are fun and where you're at now and the people you're with now. And you're not worrying about what happened in the past. You're not gossiping. You're not going back into it. You're not doing the analysis paralysis and re-reviewing, well, what if I had said this, she said this, who said that. You're not in that space. You're just free of it and relaxing and focusing on the present and what you want to do now, without considering anything about that past event. You're moving on, essentially, and giving yourself just a break to just spend time doing fun things, thinking about anything else. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Now, queens are feminine energy. It's a little more receptive. It can be nurturing. I would say they are more, it's a little bit softer energy. They are still leaders. They are still in charge, but they have a softer edge to them than the masculine, the kings tend to have. But they can have the same level of power. Wands are a fire element. So this is about boldness. This is about action. This is movement. This is passion, creativity. I feel like this is you taking steps to either get back in touch with the person that was maybe falsely implicated in what happened, so that you can talk to them and you can clear the air with them. You're not worried about this. This is something that you believe in, that you're passionate about, that on your end anyway needs to be cleared up, so that you're both on the same page and you both understand. and maybe even exchange some apologies, or at least maybe you apologize for some of the things you said or did back then that you are taking responsibility for, just because that feels right for you. Again, this is something you feel like needs to be done to set the record straight as far as how you feel about what you've now learned. And as a result, you know that maybe you took out your anger back then on the wrong person. So they need to know that you understand, that you know what was going on, and you apologize for how you responded at that time. But it was based on how you were feeling then and the information, the false information. And they didn't even know where this was coming from either. But this feels like you're taking charge and handling the situation in a very mature and responsible way. And you're very happy to do this because you don't like having that void sitting there. It feels like there's some gap or something, the missing piece of the puzzle. That's the missing piece of the puzzle. That gap, that void that's been there, because you, and again, somewhere within your energy, you always knew something was off because you can never figure out how did all this come to light. When in reality, somebody was just hiding their own things by lying and misleading people about other things. But they were very good at it back then. Back then. But it's all exposed now. You may get a little, petty pleasure from that too, honestly. But their situation is no longer your problem. You're handling your business. You're dealing with your business and your connection with this other person and getting that straight. That does not mean you become fast friends again, anything like that, but you're just getting the record set straight so that then you can just move on into the future. You're getting stuff done in the Capricorn way. All right. Now I'm going to do this little movie strip trick that the creator of this deck has in their book. And I will struggle with not being perfectionist here. Yes, I said struggle with it because it's going to bug me, but I am letting it go. I am releasing it. I'm not holding on to that energy. I'm not being precious. Okay, so here we have the movie strip of this situation, the discovery of the information, time to understand it, this gap here, understand exactly what this means and what are the implications of this. And maybe even doing a little bit of researching and fact checking here just to confirm that this is not just a rumor, this is a reality. So you're taking time to do that investigative work here. And then you're like, oh, okay, you know what? Whatever. This is their fate. This is their problem. I'm not going to support them. I'm not going to help them. I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm disconnecting from this person. They are not going to be part of my life moving forward. I don't want to deal with any more drama with that. That's this here. You're reaching for brighter things, for positivity. And I don't care how sad they are, how mad, how much regret they have. That's their on them. It is not my problem to solve. So you're moving on. And you still need to process some anger, some frustration, supreme disappointment here, maybe even some guilt yourself because of how you reacted back then. Back you were reacting on what you thought was the truth, what everybody at that time thought was the truth. So don't be too hard on yourself here, but let yourself go through that emotional release so that you have clarity within your body and your energy before you go forward and talk to this other person. So this here is that time. We have this gap here where you're processing it. And like I said, it's not a very long time. It's less time than it took you here to do the fact checking, but it's at least a few days in this 1 month period. It could be up to a week. I would say 5-ish days. But then you're relaxing it and you're settling into things and you're distracting yourself. Maybe you just have a couple movie nights. Maybe you do a Netflix and chill, but you're not going to think about anything. You're not going to keep hashing it over. You're giving yourself a break in time to process. Let it, the whole thing work out in your brain and settle in, but not by thinking of it, by giving yourself other things to focus on. And then you're going to take action and you're going to set the record straight. with the other parties that were misled, with the other victims or the other people who are impacted by the deception of this other person from the past, because you want that record set straight. You want clarity here. And this is something you're passionate about having. You don't like leaving things messy. You want to make sure there's a clean understanding, clear understanding here by everybody. And then you can relax again and prepare for the next month. You'll have a few days here, it looks like, to just kind of relax without any drama, just doing what you do. And again, this is all about making sure everybody's on the same page again. If things are clarified, if you feel like you need to give an apology, that's done. It doesn't need to mend fences. Again, you just want the clarity. Okay. And that, Capricorn, wait, let's pull a card from the back of the deck. See what we have here. Yeah, the Justice card. That's what this whole thing is about. The Justice card. Righting the wrongs of the past. Exactly. Supportive of exactly the things, the messages we gave off here. And we can put this here. Balancing the scales. That's what's important to you here. And that's why you take action to balance the scales and get everybody on the same page. All right, Capricorn, that is what I have for you for September. Please hit that like button and please hit subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.